Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are doing well. In today's video, we are going to talk about 7 important journal entries. So make sure you watch this video till the very end so you don't miss any of these. Without any further ado, let's get started. So our first journal entry is CorporateWala returns $3,000 worth of defective merchandise to supplier and receives a credit. We need to record this journal entry. So whenever you will return any merchandise which you had bought on credit, what will happen? Earlier, you would have created a current liability for that. So you need to reverse that current liability. And what you would have got? You would have got the inventory which you are now returning. So you will debit the accounts payable and you will credit the inventory account in order to record this transaction in the books of account. Moving ahead, now let's talk about our second journal entry, which is CorporateWala recognize a warranty liability of $6,000 for products sold in past, and we need to record this adjustment entry. So what will happen? You need to record a warranty expense, and against that you need to create a liability. So what will be our entry in that case? So we will debit the warranty expense account in order to record the expense, and we will create a warranty liability, which we can also call it as warranty payable. Moving ahead, now let's talk about our next journal entry, which is CorporateWala receives a loan from bank with a principal amount of $50,000, and we need to record this transaction in our books of account. So whenever you will receive any loan from your bank, what will happen? You will receive the cash from bank, and against that cash, you need to record a liability of bank loan or loan account. So what will happen? We will debit the bank account here, and you will create a liability of bank loan, or loans payable, whatever you have mentioned. All of these are correct. In this question, we don't need to pass on the journal entry of interest expense, but let's suppose if we are paying the interest on this loan, what will be our journal entry in that case? We will debit the interest expense because it is an expense for business, and we will credit the bank or cash because we are paying our expenses. And how we would have calculated the interest amount? We would have multiplied the principal amount with the rate of interest. That will give us the annual interest. And let's suppose if you are booking for only a month, you will divide this amount by 12 and you will get monthly interest expense amount. Moving ahead, now let's talk about our next question, which is CorporateWala recognize a $12,000 accrued salaries at the end of the month, and we need to book this adjustment entry. So whenever there will be an expense which is recognized but we haven't paid it, it will generate a current liability for us. So what will be our journal entry in that case? We will debit the salary expense account and we will credit the accounts payable, outstanding salary or accrued salary, whatever current liability you want to use, all those are correct. Moving ahead, now let's talk about our next journal entry, which is CorporateWala issue a promissory note of $25,000 to a supplier in exchange for goods. We need to record this journal entry for issuance of the promissory note. So what is happening here? We are receiving the goods, but instead of paying them, what we are doing? We are giving them a promissory note or bills of exchange. So to record this transaction, what we will do? So we will debit the purchase account because we are receiving the goods, and we will credit the bills payable or promissory notes or notes payable, whatever you want to use. All those are correct. Moving ahead, now let's talk about our next journal entry, which is CorporateWala purchase equipment for $40,000 on credit, and we need to record this journal entry. So whenever you will buy any equipment, it will increase your asset, but because you are buying it on a credit, it will not impact your cash, but it will create a current liability for you. So your entry would be equipment account debit to accounts payable account by 40,000 amount. I hope till here everything is clear to you. Moving ahead, now let's talk about our next journal entry, which is CorporateWala settle a lawsuit by paying $15,000 for damages, and we need to record this transaction in our books of account. So whenever you are paying any lawsuit damages, it will be treated as your expense, and if you are paying it, you will credit your bank, but if you are not paying it yet, it will generate a liability or it will create a liability for you. So what will be our journal entry here? Lawsuit damages account debit to bank or cash account by $15,000. So we are assuming that they are settling the payment here if they have only recognized the liability, we would have created a liability instead of paying it off by cash or bank. For more such important journal entries, you can watch these videos next. It will help you prepare for your interview.